What's going on then, YouTube? Hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel on the FIFA Analyst. And today we are going to be going through and ranking all of the formations in FIFA 22, letting you know what takes the crown, what is the best formation out there on FIFA 22, and just giving you a bit of an idea of what I think to each formation. Just a reminder, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know down below in the comment section what is your favorite formation and what do you rank as the best one on FIFA 22. So we're going to head over to the custom tactics and we're going to go through and do it this way for us and just rank them through here. Now, we're going to start off. We're going to go in order on this particular list. The 4-5-1, just the normal version. It's an interesting formation, and the reason why this formation is almost never going to be used seriously competitively is purely for the fact that you have the one centre mid, which makes it very difficult to cover the passes, to your centre backs, obviously from the strikers to the opponent, and it's very easy to kind of bypass it. Your right attacking mid and left attacking mid that sit a bit higher up, you can bring them back in like a comeback on defence to try and emulate like almost a 4-3, a 3 in the middle, let's say. But the real problem is with this formation is that the right attacking mid and the left attacking mid, so here this would be Simeone and Zenolio, they swap with the right mid and the left mid, and they just like no one sticks into their specific formation. I used this formation once in Chuffsters. I can't remember the name of his series, unfortunately, but I used it against Chuffsters, a great YouTuber, great streamer as well. Check him out. And it was terrible. It was so bad. They just constantly kept switching and changing. It was honestly, I think it was a countdown. Yeah, I think it was his countdown series. It was on that. It was back on FIFA 20, and it's just such a bad formation. I would rank this really, really low. I wouldn't ever ask someone to use it. You can use it if obviously it's a formation that you enjoy. I just really would. I would say stay away. I would never even use this formation. The 4-1-4-1. This is an interesting formation because it's not ever going to be played, I think, in a way to attack and go forward and be aggressive. It's a very good formation at seeing out a game. It's so hard to break down. If you have your centre defensive mid, stay back, cover centre, cut passing lanes, maybe the left centre mid and the right centre mid on stay back as well, and just have the left mid, right mid on getting behind, but come back on defence and just use the wing and then use a big striker up front. You go to this at like the 80th minute to help see out a game. You can use this from minute 1. So say if you match like a pro FIFA player and you're not as good, this is a really good formation to frustrate them, to just see out, try and hit on the counter and just really, really find your way through on that side of things. It isn't a formation that I personally use as like a go-to. I will have it in my locker as something to see out the game. We've done a video on this before. But yeah, I rank it highly in seeing out games, but I don't rank it highly in the full 90 minutes. I hope that makes sense for you. But as I said, you can use it for the 90 should you wish to. The 4-2-3-1 narrow. It's been such a solid formation over the years on FIFA, hasn't it? It's just been so good. And the reason for it is that, I said earlier on, like that one centre mid in the 4-5-1 makes it difficult for you to cover and protect. You have two centre defensive mids here. They sit in front of the centre backs. You drag your centre defensive mids, you put them back in the right position. You'll be in for a good time in this formation. Where people struggle with this is that they struggle to get the right attacking mid and left attacking mid involved. They only use the cam. So they feel like they're almost outnumbered in attack all the time. You really need to encourage wing play in this formation and then work your way back into the middle. If you use the wing play and then go back into the middle, you have freedom. You bypass their midfield, and then that's where the 4-2-3-1 really, really comes to life. It's a great formation. I would probably rank this as number 1, believe it or not, for me, because I think it's so sound for almost every area, defensively and attacking. I think in a great player's hands, this can be used as a fantastic formation. Again, if you're a casual, maybe if you sat in Division 3, Division 4, you'll like it defensively, but you may struggle to, to get people involved. And that's where you need to go and watch, my videos on the 4-2-3-1 and how to really like get the best out of the formation. One striker will mean that some people will find it difficult to use as well, though. The 4-2-3-1 wide, so this is a little bit similar to the 4-2-3-1, but as you can just see, you have like the centre forward and then the left mid and right mid are deeper, right? They're not as high up. They're not attacking mids. They're left mid and right mid. They sit a little bit wider as well. I think this is a really good formation to confuse the opponent because the wing is so much more utilized here. And also, it's a great formation to actually see out a game. You can use this if you want from the first minute, and you can use it for the 90 minutes, or you can use it from the 70th minute to see out a game. It's a great formation. I just don't think it's as good as the 4-2-3-1 narrow, purely because it's not as attacking, right? It's a bit harder to get those triangles, to get the patterns going that you can do in the normal 4-2-3-1 narrow. So I'd kind of put this in the middle tier. I think it can be used competitively. I think you guys can use it should you wish to. But yeah, definitely not as good as the 4-2-3-1. The 4-5-1, this is the flat 4-5-1 where you have 3 centre mids. Very similar to the 4-1-4-1, if I'm honest with you. I actually think this is a fine formation for someone to use if they're, again, looking to frustrate the opponent. If you're up against someone that you know is a little bit better than you and you want to try and hit on the counter, it can work in that way. It's not great going forward, similar to the 4-1-4-1, because you just don't have a lot of men, there. If you are going to play this formation, I'd highly recommend having like the left centre mid, the right centre mid, maybe on get forward, or at least having some attacking minded players there. So you have like one proper centre defensive mid, maybe a box to box, and then a real go forward like left centre mid or right centre mid. But yeah, it can be used. Not something that I use personally. I'm not a massive fan of it. The 4-4-1-1, again, kind of similar to the 4-1-4-1 in a way. That it is quite defensive, but not massively. This can be used from minute 1 should you wish to. My only thing with this is that I just prefer to use the 4-4-2. It's actually a good formation, the 4-4-1-1. You have 2 variants. You have the one with a centre forward, and you have the one with a cam. They're effectively the same. It's just where that centre forward or cam kind of sits. Both good formations, both can work. Just me to myself personally, I feel like if you're a lower level player, you just put yourself at a disadvantage because you might as well just have another striker. Like, it's easier to link up with 2 strikers, right? You can look for the 1-2s and get in behind that way. But having that centre forward there, sometimes people will like because they like having that number 10. The 4-4-2 second variation. This and the 4-4-2, I'm going to talk about them both really because they're both the same. The only difference is that with the 4-4-2 second variation, your centre mids sit as centre defensive mids, and your left mid and right mid just sit a little bit higher up in the normal 4-4-2. I really like the 4-4-2. I think a lot of people struggle with it because essentially the way I explain the 4-4-2 to work is you want to go up and down the pitch like that, right? You want to work your way from the right mid to the centre mid, to the centre mid, to the left mid, and then work it back across. And then you get to the strikers, and you're trying to see if you can get through, get in behind, get into the box, get a shot off. A lot of people just go through their centre mids and just go boom, straight to the strikers, try a 1-2 with the strikers, and then it never works, and the opponent defends it. It can be quite repetitive if you do that. This is one, again, the most competitive formations in FIFA. You'll see the 4-4-2 quite a lot because you can make it very defensive if you want to. You can make it very good on the counter. You can play tick-attacker. It can suit pretty much any play style that you may want on FIFA. The left mid and right mid come back on defense because that's what some people do. Will give you 2 lines of a 4-man, which makes it like a brick wall trying to get through. It's very difficult to break down, actually. And especially having the 4-4-2 second variation, which I'd say is a little bit more popular, kind of on the competitive side of things. Your 2 centre defensive mids just sit as anchors. They break up the counter attack really, really well. I rank that really highly, by the way. I would probably put the 4-4-2 second on my list personally. 4-1-2-1-2 narrow and 4-1-2-1-2 wide. So the difference here, one is a left mid and right mid, one's a left centre mid and a right centre mid, so they sit more narrow. I'd actually rank the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow as the best formation for me, the most fun formation, what I enjoy the most. In terms of results, the 4-2-3-1 does better. I did a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow video last week. You can check that out if you want the custom tactics. It's such a great attacking formation. It will get you goals. It's so easy to attack with. On this game, though, it does struggle a little bit because someone can hold the ball really well. They can switch it from their left back to their right back, switch it to their winger, and you don't really stand much of a chance. It's actually really, really difficult to get the ball back. If you want to change to it in a 60th minute, 70th minute to just go and get some quick goals, feel free. It can be really aggressive. It won't work for everyone, though, because it is so much through the middle and it is hard to press. The 4-1-2-1-2 normal, where you have the left mid and right mid, don't play it. Again, you have that one centre defensive mid. You don't have enough men in midfield, essentially. It doesn't really work that well. If you want this because you like the wing on it, just play the 4-4-2, really. And then you can have your left centre mid or right centre mid in the 4-4-2 to get forward, to almost emulate that centre attacking mid that you have here in the 4-1-2-1-2 wide. Can it be used? Yes. Can you use it if you enjoy it? Yes. It's just not as good, right? But yeah, the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow I'd rank as one of the best formations. It makes my top 3. Just for me personally, competitively, it doesn't win over the 4-2-3-1. But in terms of enjoyment and just getting goals and having fun, it definitely takes that #1 spot. The 4-2-2-2. I've used it a little bit more this year. I hated it last year. I like it. I think it works. It will just sit number 4 on the slots of formations for me. The only thing that I don't like about this is that I just feel like I'm forcing to the wing and to the strikers because I haven't got a centre attacking mid in the middle to just take that number 10 spot and really, you know, link up the play. That's where I struggle with in the 4-2-2-2. I feel like if I wanted to use these, because I wanted 2 strikers, I'd just use the 4-4-2 or the 4-4-2 second variation. And the left mid and right mid are a little bit easier to get involved then. It can work. It's very effective. I've done a video and tactics on this. And as I said, I'd rank it number 4. But it just isn't as good as the 4-4-2 or the 4-2-3-1 for me. But you do have the benefit, similar to the 4-2-3-1, that it's very hard to break down. But you have more of a counter-attacking threat because of the 2 strikers. The 4-3-1-2. I'm going to be honest, I haven't really used it too much this year. It was great last year with a press on possession loss, and it still is very effective this year. I just prefer the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow because I have a centre defensive mid sitting there breaking up the counter-attacks rather than 3, you know, centre midfielders essentially. They're both very similar. They both play almost identical apart from that centre defensive mid sitting there. I just prefer it, and I think most players probably would as well. However, if you're looking to just be even more aggressive, more attacking, go with a 4-3-1-2 over the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. 4-1-3-2 just isn't that great, really. Similar to it's basically the 4-1-2-1-2 wide, but you just have that centre mid instead of a cam. And again, just look at the gaps. You can already see it here. It just isn't a great formation. I have tried it in a draft, and it was probably one of the worst formations that I've used, actually. It doesn't work for me. It may work for you, but it doesn't work for me. So I'd rank that as a no-go. I do not like it at all. The 4-3-3-5, this is where you have the false 9. It actually can work. It's an effective formation and be quite fun. The 4-3-3s, there's quite a lot of them here, by the way. So I'm not going to go through each individual one because you have the 4-3-3 flat. You have the 4-3-3-2 where you have the 1 centre defensive mid. You have the 4-3-3-3 where you have 2 centre defensive mids, 1 centre mid. And then you have the 4-3-3-4 where you have a cam and left centre mid and right centre mid and a striker. So a little bit more aggressive on that. There's loads of variants in a 4-3-3 to find what's best for you. The 4-3-3s as a whole are good formations. You have wing, you have men in the middle, you have a striker. It all works quite well. At times, I think where people struggle is in the attack. They struggle to get those left wing and right wing involved with the striker, as well as one of the centre mids kind of, you know, overloading through the middle. I rank these just a little bit below the 4-2-2-2. The 4-3-3-4 probably takes similar to the 4-2-2-2. Like I'd rank them probably about the same. And then just the normal 4-3-3s would take like the, you know, the 5th spot for me kind of on this list. But they work fairly well for me, right? Again, use which one you like. Just make sure that you get the wingers involved. Make sure you use the width fully, but make sure you bring the wingers in the middle as well. Can be a great counter-attacking formation. Can be a great tick-attacker formation. Can be a great possession formation. Can be a great pressing formation as well. If you put the wingers on stay forward, press on possession loss or constant pressure, get one of centre mids to go forward as well. Honestly, it can be really good on that side of things. The 4-3-2-1, I forgot about this one actually. This is one this year that really has come in to light for me. I put this on the same as the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, all right? I think it's a great formation. I really enjoy using it. It's one of the most enjoyable formations this year. Competitively, I struggle with it a little bit more. It's very aggressive, right? It's very hard to really compete against some of the best players that, you know, that we come up against. It's a great formation. I really enjoy it. I'd probably use it now as like a 70th minute. I need a goal. I want to try and switch something up. And that's why I'd go to the 4-3-2-1. It can work really, really well actually against something like a 4-2-3-1. Purely just because they have those 2 centre defensive mids to try and cover the 3 strikers, which is what we have here. Because we use a narrow width, stay central on the left forward, right forward, which works for me. And it makes it very difficult. The 4-2-4 is not a formation that I'd recommend you guys to use like from minute 1. But if you want to use it as your constant pressure pressing formation, you can do. It's really effective because your right winger and left winger sit on the left back and the right back. Your 2 strikers obviously sit on their centre backs, and you can push your 2 centre mids up to box in their centre mids. Where people can counteract it is with a little, you know, dink ball over the top and beat your press. Once they do that, you're screwed. You've literally just got 4 defenders then. But in terms of you having so many men in attack and being aggressive there, one of the best formations at kind of getting the ball. I don't use it at all, to be honest with you. I prefer a 3 at the back to get the ball back. But if you want to use it as a pressing formation, feel free. 5-4-1. Again, the 5 at the back, I'm going to kind of round all these up together as a whole. They work if you're not very competent with tracking through balls and defending, let's say. If you want to sit back and sit deep and really frustrate the opponent and just have numbers in defense, these are going to work for you. The most popular ones are going to be the 5-2-1-2 and the 5-3-2. They just work. They're very solid. They have the men there kind of in defense, and they're very good counter-attacking formations. You're going to be looking for through balls. You're going to be looking to be direct and quick on the counter. 5-4-1 is probably one of the least favourite. I did try the 5-2-2-1, and I just don't think the wingers get involved enough for you to warrant wanting to use this formation either. So the 5-2-1-2 and the 5-3-2 would probably make about 6th on the list. They work. They're they're very defensive. You can have the key is to use the wing backs, right? You have to have the wing backs on kind of get forward and use the width through there. But yeah, they can work. They're not bad formations. I'm going to rank these. So the 3-4-1-2 I only use as a constant pressure, get back into the game formation. If you watch my custom tactics, you would have seen me talk about this in the past. I rank it really highly as probably one of the best formations to get the ball back and get goals. Once they beat your press again, you're pretty much screwed because it only leaves you with those 3 centre-backs. But in terms of getting the ball back and being good in that way, it works really, really well. The 3-5-2, for me personally, you can use this for minute 1 if you want to. Depends on how you set it up. I like it. I'd probably rank it about the same as the 4-2-2, around that sort of way. It can be used competitively, but you really have to set up the players right in this. The only reason why I wouldn't rank this higher, it's very hard to create a team to suit the 3-5-2 without, you know, worrying about, oh, I don't have a 4-2-3-1 setup or a 4-4-2 setup, that sort of thing. It works really, really well. I've done videos on this before as well and talking about it. You can use it for minute 1, but if you want to use it as a pressing formation, again, to get you goals, feel free. That can work as well. Now, the 3-4-2-1 pressing formation, again, I don't use it as a minute 1 formation, but it can work on that side. And the 3-4-3. 3-4-3 is not that great. I'd rather use the 3-4-2-1 because if you look at that, you can see you've basically just got 2 players in each other's space. Get them a little bit more narrower, get the left forward and right forward involved, and then have the left mid and right mid, and that will work better for you. You can use these as minute 1 formations should you wish to. You just have to set them up to not be like constant pressure, getting all the men forward and so on. So that's kind of how I'd rank all the formations and what I think is viable and what can be used. Obviously, the ones that I've talked about are ones that I like. I have done custom tactics videos on them, so please do check them out should you wish to. And let me know exactly what is your favorite one. What do you guys enjoy using? Thank you all very much for watching. I do appreciate it. I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.